Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. Happy Monday morning.
Yeah, guys.
Storm Watch 2024, at least for Robert.
You're right.
And,
We don't.
yeah, going to bed last night, thought might be right in the center of the storm headed your way.
Well, I at least thought we was going to be a lot more into it last night than what we were. But, yeah, we were watching old Debbie here. I'm in extreme southwest Georgia. It looks like we might just skirt the edge of this one.
Awesome. Good morning to our Cornbread Nation. Anybody that joins with us on this Monday morning. Hey, we're here on Monday. It's live on Monday. We haven't been doing that, so it's a new day for us. Happy about that. We got a lot going on this week. We hope to be able to talk about. We hope to get your work week started off in a positive way. And as like Robert was saying, keep an eye on the storm. A lot of wind and rain. For some, a lot of rain. But one of those storms, they can twist and turn and do a lot of different things. So kind of watching that. But you said it drove the gnats out of town last night, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the wind was up enough yesterday afternoon. I think if we hit it just right and we caught them all swarmed up good, it might have blown them all up to your neck of the woods. We're going to reverse that gnat line. Yeah. All the gnats be down here.
I hope not. We need to move them out to sea.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Y'all need some gnats. It's just blowing right on up there.
We don't need no gnats up here. We got enough creatures and critters going on as it is. Well, I've had a good weekend at church. By the way, I appreciate the phone call, Rob. It was a real nice phone call yesterday. It meant a lot to me. The preacher preaching on a really awesome topic. I appreciate that. And I'm still in First Peter and then on Psalms on Sunday night. Of course, we did our Sunday morning in the Word on the podcast. So hope people got to do that. And a new little promo for our highlighting the faith part of our podcast that is out there on all the streams that me and my granddaughter, she was the engineer behind the scenes. So she didn't want to be on camera. They get to a certain age, Rob, I was telling her yesterday, she just turned 12. So I was telling her yesterday, I said, there was a time when you would never leave my side. Like you were everywhere I went, everywhere Papa went, that's where Kaylee went. But now they get up into that age and they got all these other things they want to do. You say, you want to go? No, I'll just stay here with my dog, or I want to go see my friend. And then the other part of that is, used to be when there was age where you could say, hey, you want to make a video? Yeah, let's do it. There's all excited. Now it's like, no, I'd be too embarrassed. My friends would see all that. So my own camera buddy is not there right now. So she does behind the camera stuff. So I guess I'll just have to train her to be an engineer.
Oh, that's liable to change in 5 minutes, dude.
It was kind of a sad moment. I was telling her this. I was headed to church. I said, there used to be a time where you didn't leave my side. That's hard. But I said, I told her we was at church. We did a little Sunday school thing together. And but I was telling her, I said, you're changing in so many different ways and so fast. I can't keep up. I mean, she's just, they're all over the place when they're that age, the emotions and attitudes and their likes, everything changes by the moment. I can't keep up. No. I said, but I said, you're still my partner. I said, love you. Gave her a big hug. I said, it's just, it's tough, that time frame for them, I know, but it's tough for us, tough for us parents too. So.
What the thing is here, I think, Now, I'm no expert, but yeah, I think that, with you being, uh, well, a grandpa, let's face it, you're a grandpa. You're not up to date. You're behind,
Well, there's
and
no doubt.
you're not, you're not the hip younger guy that we once were. That we're still used to being those hip younger guys. I, it's like me. I don't wake up in the morning and see, someone that wrestled and, and now is retired or from wrestling. I don't see that. I still see me back in my wrestling days, you know, but kids don't.
No, it all started last year. I take two or three, depending on who I was riding with me to school, all girls. And one morning I was singing. I like to have a song on my heart. Just being, I like to have a good morning with them and that few minutes that we have in the ride to school. And they're all giving me this funny look. And my granddaughter says, "You're not going to sing when you pull up in front of the school to drop us off, are you?" I looked over at her and I said, "Why not?" "Well, we'd be embarrassed. If you're going to do that, let us off a little bit away from the door and we'll walk up." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" "No, we don't want no other
So
parents or kids to hear you singing."
I'd have had to drop them right off at the
Oh,
door. You'd be
I
lucky
t-
if I was singing. I'd probably be singing something more popular, like "Oops, I did it again." I'd pull right up to the door singing loud.
well, I told them, I said, "Now you mess with me and I'll come in my pajamas and walk you to the door."
Yeah,
Singing.
that would be
They
awesome.
they cringed really hard. And so they were like, "Well, just don't sing too loud."
You could walk up to the door in your pajamas, one in one hand. Have them by their hands. Singing "Good morning, beautiful."
Give them a big
How you
hug,
doing now? Yeah,
wave at them. "Bye. Have a great
yeah.
day."
The wheels on the bus go round and round. Sing it with me, girls. Round and round, round and
They'd be covering their heads with their hoodies or whatever they got on. But that,
yeah.
just them thinking about it, it stopped. It stopped the talk about me singing in the vehicle headed to school. But I looked over. The look in their faces was pure terror. Like, oh my god, he actually means that. Like, would he do that?
It's nice to keep them guessing.
Oh well, yeah. You got to keep your edge. But But they do. You're their hero, and then all of a sudden you're an embarrassment to them. Like, oh, don't they want your money? They want you to take them places. They want thank you so much for all the stuff you bought and everything. But around their friends, it's like they want you to kind of stay on the fringes, kind of just outside the boundary.
Are you getting it yet? Are you getting it yet? Are you getting the?
Well, yeah, that's happened. We work on that. We do work on that.
I don't know when they picked that language up, but you might as well go ahead and plan on at least the next 5 or 6 years of her speaking. It's a language.
Oh yeah, yeah. They become aliens for a little while. They again they don't even understand themselves sometimes, and they just change with the moment. Their
Uh,
likes, what they don't like. Things you thought they liked. You go to buy them a gift, and they're like, "Ooh, I don't want that. That's all yesterday." What you know. And unfortunately, with today, used to it was always that way, but with today's technology, with one kid, all it takes is one kid to like some pants or something from some store online, and they pass that around. Next thing you know, you're hearing about these store online that you got. Hey, I want these. Can you buy this? And it's whatever. All of them are. It's now the new hip thing.
yeah.
Whether that's it's always got some kind of name brand to it. And there's a special name. You got to get the exact right thing. And then once one gets it, every one of them want it. All their friends. It's a circle of influence,
I,
and
I
they
remember.
talk about this, on their phones, and Now, I come from a day, Rob. I come from a day. I mean, I don't think you're probably much different. When school time came, and I was happy. I mean, I was excited to get it. It was times, tough. My mom would get me new school clothes, but it was at the OK Mart back in the day. And I might get to go to the old shoe store for the shoes.
Yeah.
But that's went down and got all that stuff. We did it in one afternoon, and it was all of it, everything that I got. Of course, I know it was a different time. Way less than $100. Way less. Like my whole supplies, clothes, shoes, socks, all that stuff. Got ready for a new school year, but it was a big expense to a family
Yeah.
back then. Way less than $100. I can remember a friend of mine grew up with for a time. And I remember in middle school, and this was, golly, this is like 70, 78, 8-ish, 9-ish, somewhere in there. I
Mm.
can remember her mom went and bought her school clothes. I remember her coming to school talking. Kids will do that sometimes. Hey, guess what? My mom spent on all my clothes. It was like $600. Now, can you imagine $600? And it wasn't even all the supplies. It was just like 3 or 4 outfits, maybe 5 at the most.
Wow.
$600 in we'll say $1979. Think about that.
Wow.
They were fancy. They had this was back when they first started getting the pants that had the pockets with the holes your fingers could go through. That was a big thing, at one time. I don't know when that started, but I never had anything like
I think
that.
I missed that.
Well, I had the, what was the old boot cut, jeans or whatever, I mean, it was, thank goodness, but there is blessing. Thank goodness I missed the 70s flare. What do they call that? The bell bottom, the bell bottom pants. I missed that by the grace of God. I think my mom did buy me a pair, and I would never wear them but around the house. I just did it, because she'd bought them. I'm not wearing that to school. That was her hearkening back to her years earlier. She thought that was probably cool. That was the ugliest. I hated those things. But I was happy to get it. Of course, T-shirt. If you went and shopped at like a Kmart or something like that, you went to school and you thought you were the only one with that type of clothes, and whatever your shirt had, there'd be 20 other kids at. And then I'll go Kmart, right? Or whatever store it was. We had a Kmart that was really close, so it was easy shopping.
One fad that I missed, that I'd hit, that I wished I had missed when I was in high school, the big thing was the Levi's 501 blue jeans that had the button flies.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have missed that. In the Navy uniforms, they had 13 buttons. 13 buttons. You know how hard that is to go to the bathroom?
But you look cool, right?
Oh, yeah, I look cool. That's what I was looking for, was look cool.
And then I get to, in high school, because in middle school, it was, or we called it junior high then, it wasn't no middle school. But in high school, and I come from, a very conservative family and everything. And then I see all these shirts with look like creatures on them. I've never heard of them. I did later, but I'd never heard of them. It was the Kiss shirts, all the kids that had the Kiss shirts. And that was, around the time Creatures of the Night came out. You remember that
Yes.
album cover where they had the shirts like that. And then they had the kids still had the Destroyer shirts and all that. And I'm thinking, who are these guys with paint on their faces? And I didn't want to ask because I didn't want to look dumb, like, who's that? But I thought this has got to be a thing. Like, there's a bunch of kids, usually the more long-haired kids, had the Kiss shirts on and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I had no clue who that was. Like, my mom was, Elvis and Beatles and Motown and all. I knew all them because mom listened, but my mom wasn't into rock and roll or, her style of rock and roll, but not heavier, no, Kiss wasn't real heavy, but that was considered long hair, hairband, whatever you want to call it. But I'm seeing all these and the lunch boxes, because Kiss, you got to give them credit. They marketed themselves on everything. So those Kiss shirts, Kiss lunch boxes, Kiss, the backpacks, the pencil boxes, everything Kiss could put their name on just about, I think they did. So all these kids would come to school and I didn't know who they was. I'm looking at them like, and I didn't want to ask my mom, I thought I figured it should say, "Don't stay away from that."
Yeah. Well, they were marketed almost as heavily as Scooby Doo was. That was the two lunch boxes and pencil boxes you always saw was either Kiss or Scooby Doo. I mean,
Oh yeah, and then nowadays, my son, he gave me a hard time. All those lunch boxes are worth so much money now, and
yeah,
if kids had only kept up with them, I went back and I bought one online. I'd found one for, I forget, one of the TV shows, and I think I bought a couple of them. And I just put them up on the shelf, and my son was laughing at me. He said, "Do you like your little lunchbox there, Dad?" I said, "Well, yeah, I do. I didn't have this one when I was in school, and I wanted it. Okay, is you got a problem with that?" He's like, "No, I'm just glad you got your little lunchbox." But I forget which one it was now. But those are worth a lot of money if they're
oh
in
yeah,
good shape. But even the ones in bad shape are worth some money. But yeah,
hey,
that was a big thing in school.
yeah. Let me give a quick shout out to all of our viewers on X this morning. We're glad y'all are with us. We are doing
Absolutely.
X. Uh,
Thanks for being a
so
part of Cornbread Nation. That's what we call our followers here on the Southern Fried Podcast. We hope you like some good cornbread no matter where you're from. Definitely
yeah,
thank you for watching in, and hope you're not in the eye of the storm if you're in Florida or
or in
South
South
Georgia,
Georgia.
the Carolinas, headed that way. We hope
Hey,
it's good where you're
I
at.
spurred it this morning. If you down here in South Georgia, around Valdosta, Moultrie, Tifton, Waycross, y'all are, it's coming. Or if it's not already there, it's there, and y'all are wet.
It's coming. We think of all those folks, that have to go through that yet again. And
Yeah.
it's going to be a busy season, I think. It's already had some, but be a busy season for storms. We need some rain, but not like that. not, not like that. So was you in school? Was you a ball cap wearer? Did you wear ball
Yes,
caps? Or
yes, I
I
did.
did too because I played little ball, so I usually would have a ball cap on. Not always, but usually I would
Well,
do that.
down here in the South, everybody had a hat. Plus, back then, I had a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of hair. It was thick, it was curly,
I remember
and
you said these words, Robert. Flaming.
yeah, it was flaming red back then.
I won't never forget that. Flaming red.
Yeah, well,
Copper or
not,
copperhead.
not flaming red, but flaming red. Okay, let's say it with the right tonation.
Okay. That's
Okay,
that was your words the other day.
yeah, but it was flaming red, not flaming. Uh, do that
Oh
a
my
little too
goodness. Good morning,
well.
Brother Michael. Uh, uh, Former co-worker, Christian brother there. Thank you. Thank you, sir, this morning. He had
Yeah,
he watched my devotion yesterday on Sunday morning. Had nice words. We appreciate that. Thanks for being a supporter and follower. Um, for those that don't know us, we're just two guys that have known each other for a long time that are uh, extreme North Georgia and extreme South Georgia, but we love all the South, and we highlight Southern things in all of our programming. We do many different things from morning funnies to Southern manners, sports, our morning shows. We've got a hump day midweek show that we do at Wednesday night, and front porch talking on Friday night that we do. So interviews, we've got an interview. Hopefully we're going to cut today with a local business owner. I'm hoping that'll work out. I'll be contacting her when the sun comes up, as they say. Thank you, Michael, for following on X. Yeah, X has been growing for us, and we're thankful. We're on just about every stream. Facebook's been good and YouTube, but X has really been coming on strong. We appreciate all those that follow on X, and nowadays I'm thankful. Without getting into the whole nuts and bolts of it, it's good to be diversified because some of the streams, even X or when it was Twitter, they struck a lot of platforms. And if for nothing else, I'm thankful for Elon for that. For uh, and I'm not even controversial sites, Rob. I'm talking conservative. That's probably why they were
yeah,
controversial, but conservative. I mean, ministries. I know ministries that were a lot of their donations and funding and things that they had were through those a couple of platforms, and I don't want to mention all of them by name, but they got struck and they had to pivot really fast because it really put a hurting on what the things they were doing. And these are just people that wanted to help people, and they had a ministry set up for that. So I don't know that there's a perfect one. I don't know if there's a one perfect anything besides our Savior, but there are some that I think are a little bit more than that. Yeah, I think we are. Michael, is definitely the same thing. We do need clean content, family friendly. That's a basis of what we built here. We wanted to be family friendly, and I too quit watching a lot of nothing network except maybe a little sports here and there. But I catch it right as the game starts. I just don't want to be inundated with all the messaging. And that is a platform that we are on, and we're trying to get that one set up right now so it'll be live on Rumble as well. We've got a technical thing there, Rob. We got to fix. We'll hope to get that today. We thought we had it. It is one of them that we'll be doing that on. So for sake of knowledge, Facebook, YouTube, X, and hopefully Rumble today will all be live when we go live. So we're doing a little bit more live every day. So this morning's show is usually from 6 to 7. Sometimes we'll go a couple minutes over, and then our evening time programs are usually, Rob, they're close to a couple hours, I guess, time we get with our guests that pop up and come in and things we talk about. We don't ever know front porch, we just talk about whatever, but sometimes we'll have it.
Careful, Michael. You pop up a comment on here, I'll have you on the show quick on Friday night. I ain't scared. I'll send you a link, pop you right on in here.
I say, Michael, when you worked, and he worked, I don't know if you remember him from the Turning Point with Charlie. Yeah, I definitely have tuned in to Turning Point with Charlie Kirk a lot. Myself, he's really great working with young people. But I think, Michael, you were a weaving guy, fixer. I think. I don't know if you worked there. Well, he would have been there when you were there, Rob. But you were out there stuck and finished, and you might not have met him. I don't know if you remember Michael or not, but he worked at the plant with us back in the day. So
he looks familiar to me, but there's a lot of people that look familiar to me from back then. And I just, I was in my little hole over there. They had me shoved in. The only people I could see was you and whoever was running the heat set over there.
16 years. Yeah, you were a geo guy mainly, I think, wasn't you? Yeah, making them cuts.
Driving lift trucks or doing geo.
Yeah, driving lift. Yeah, geo. Yeah, you were the worker bee they put over in the corner in the hot. Remember that one? They had it in the worst place, all the heat, in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd go over there and just your production would be far more than anybody else, and so you made everybody else mad because you'd be over there just slamming it, way above production.
But you know what? If you get bored, work harder.
Makes time go by.
Yeah, you have to do something. 16 years. Man, that's a long time.
It is a long time. I mean, I'm still there. I'm working on 34th year. What, kind of crazy.
Well, as you get older, that they say, I forget what that thing is that you keep losing as you get older. You can't remember stuff. What is that? What is that you keep losing?
Well, it's not, we can go the scam alert. The scammer called me elderly. I'm not elderly, but you can't talk anymore, buddy. You got your little thing in the mail there from some organization wanting you to deal with some elderly issues.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I shared that with you. It was senior issues, not
senior. Elderly. I'm sorry, senior issues, not elder. Yeah, I'm the elder. You're the senior.
That's right. Hey, Michael, I spent some time over at Extrusion too. Extrusion was horrible. My goodness, in the summertime, my goodness, because it is extreme. It was extremely hot over there, and all those hot equipment and everything. I remember them days. I'm not going back to them.
Yeah, shout out to all those folks that worked hard or work hard now. You go, I like, what is it, that Alabama song? They give all the shout out to the different workers, from the different fields and stuff. And I think about all those folks that make America go, the 40-hour week. And, saluting those workers. It's sad. And again, if you're happen to be watching and you're young, we probably don't have anybody real young. There's a lot of awesome, young, hardworking, wonderful people out there. But I'm going to tell you what, Rob, it's getting hard to get good help at any kind of business. I don't know what's happened, and everybody's got opinions about what has happened to the young. We can't get young people. It's hard to get those that want to work. I mean, we hire them, but I was talk. I deal with one of the box retailers with a little security, and they have the biggest problem. I mean, they'll hire them, they work a day or two and quit. And I say work loosely, not work. Ain't it amazing that I remember this guy handled it really well. There was a guy who was kind of complaining or something, and about his job, how how hard it was and his pay and everything. And the supervisor said, "No, wait a minute." He said, "Did we force you to come off the street and come in here and work?" And the guy said, "No." He said, "Did you agree to come to work here and you would supply a certain amount of work for a certain amount of pay per hour for 40 hours, 44, whatever it is?" He goes, "Yes." He said, "Well, if you want to change the contract, then I guess you'll have to leave. I mean, because that's what you agreed to do. That you agreed to do that. You said, I want to work here." And he said, "So are you telling me that you don't want to work here anymore?" And he said, "No, I'm not saying that at all." He said, "Well, then quit complaining." He said, "You did it. You come down and you put an application in. And when we said, we'll hire you, and this is the rate of pay we'll hire you for, you didn't get up and run out. You said, okay, I'll do it."
I'll do it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now you're wanting to change the contract. That's the way they do. I get tickled at these athletes, and I get it. You only played for so long, but they sign a contract and within a year or so, they're wanting to renegotiate the contract. I think I'm worth a whole lot more now. Well, I guess I can say the same thing. I think I'm worth a whole lot more. I want to renegotiate the contract, Oh, but we were talking the other day, of course, being that not elder, but a guy who's been around for a little bit. You think back to your first jobs, what you made per hour, and it's,
How much did you get paid on your first job?
It actually wasn't as bad as what I think it was whatever that minimum was at that time. Was it 525,
I got
something like
335 when I started getting paid. So it was probably along that lines or less.
It could have been that, but I mowed grass. My first real job was working in a grocery store, so maybe that was the 3 something. Maybe it was my first manufacturing job that was 5 something. I don't know, but it was somewhere down in there. I thought I was rich. I thought, yeah. Of course, I didn't have all the responsibilities. Mom and dad was paying electric and house payment and water and all that. And I did chip in and help. My dad got laid off some at Christmas time, and I helped out with some stuff. I remember we got our. You remember? There's just certain things in your life where you get really, $7 an hour, Dolphin. First job was $2.95. Wow.
Oh man, $2.95.
But the first time, like when you got your first in the family, because you only had one, unless you were really well-to-do, color TV, the old 25-inch. We had the RCA. They were heavy. They were the box top that sit there. And Dad had gotten. Dad got laid off, and he worked 2 jobs, but it just wasn't enough to pay for everything. And Dad says, "I don't see how we're going to be able to keep the TV." And I was like, no. I was 15 or 16 years old making money, and I said, I stood up, shoulders pulled back. I said, "I'll pay for the TV." And he said, "Well, if you'll pay for it, it can stay." I said, "How much do you need and when do you need it?" And I paid for that out of my paycheck. You know what? It made me feel good though. But man, we had them old little small black and whites before that. This was the first real nice color television that we had. And I was like, I'm not letting that go. No way. I mean, Saturday morning I say cartoons. By then I probably watched them, but sports or whatever. And another big moment, Rob, I don't know, because you live out in the sticks, as they say. I don't even know, do they even have sticks? You're so far out. Maybe there ain't sticks. I mean, you got mud. You've talked about that. And dirt and all that. But I'm only joking. He's not that far out, but he is. He
I'm
is
pretty
out.
far out there.
But you're pretty far out. But uh, I don't even know if today. I guess maybe they do. Maybe it's satellite. But when cable first came through our neighborhood, and I remember the first day that they hooked cable up at our home, because before that it was only the channels that you could turn the remote or
Right.
the antenna. I was the remote and get in the channels and all. They hooked the cable up, and the first show that popped on this color television set with cable was the Andy Griffith Show. I'll never forget that.
You were
And
like,
you know what I thought, because I'd only saw it a couple of times, because the channels and we had black and white. So I had this color television, and here comes Andy Griffith Show, and I remember saying, "Why ain't it in color?" I thought it was just our TV. I didn't realize that all those shows were all black and white. I thought it was just because our television was black and white. And
well,
Mom said, "No, that the color didn't come till later. That's still black and white."
I'm still looking forward to my first day of cable where I live.
I was fixing to say, I
We
bet
don't got no cable. We
it
don't.
has to be satellite or streaming or something that you can.
I stream it. I tried the satellite thing. Oh no, nope, 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 nope. Just go through my hotspot up here. It'll be just fine. Uh, it just no, no, no. Hey, I remember. There's two things that I remember growing up. One was asking my granddaddy when color started, and he said,
Cool.
"There's always been color." I know what it wasn't color on them shows. When you were a kid, it was pretty dull.
Hey, hold that thought. Let's run a couple of quick commercials, Rob, from this morning's show about some of our other programming or ARA, and we'll be right back. Folks, if you haven't partnered with ARA, let's just say this, Rob, great organization, and Rescue No Kill Shelter. We've got a little commercial spot we're going to run for them. And right now, my granddaughter's all over me about a dog they got down there. So I might be making a journey, Rob. I don't know.
Uh,
But folks, they're a
let me
great organization.
let me go ahead before I run this commercial for ARA. Right now, they've got a load of kittens in now, but they're all old enough to be spayed and neutered. And when you do your adoption fee, it covers it, but doesn't cover the cost out of pocket that they have to do. So they're struggling with that a little bit right now. So any donations that y'all can do with them, please do. So
Absolutely.
thank y'all. Here we go. We're going to run them now.
Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, one of the blessed things we've been able to do is partner with the wonderful people at Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. These folks are a no-kill shelter in Donaldsonville, Georgia. You see the contact info on the screen. And these folks would love to have you come adopt a dog or a cat. They have folks that come from all over the United States, not just the state of Georgia. They're great folks. It's been a wonderful partnership between Southern Fried Podcast and ARA. And we've been blessed to meet some of the folks that have adopted animals from ARA. Also, we've been able to encourage people to donate and volunteer. They encourage volunteers that are in the area, and they're just wonderful people. We'd love for you to contact them, meet them too, go on their website, see some of the animals, and we know you'll want to partner with them too by taking a dog or a cat to their forever home. Join with us, the Southern Fried Podcast, in support of this great work of the Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. We know you'll be happy you did. I know we are. Amen.
Perfect timing. All right. Let's go ahead and hit another commercial here.
Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. Please join us each Wednesday evening as we go live for Hump Day News, where we talk about a little bit of everything. We'll laugh a little bit. We'll tell you a little bit of sports news and other news that's going on. Each Wednesday evening at 7 p.m., join us for the SFP Hump Day News live. You're midweek, making your way through another work week. Join us, and we'll try to make you laugh a little bit and keep your day a little brighter.
We got one more.
One more. Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. You know, one of the favorite things that we do is sit out on the front porch with a glass of sweet tea and just talk about whatever. That's what you do on the front porch. Wave at the neighbors as they go by, or even a stranger. We're friendly people, and we like to just talk about whatever. You never know what Rob and Dave are going to talk about on the front porch, and sometimes Chris joins us, and then you really don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll laugh a little bit, we'll shock each other, and maybe, just maybe, you'll join in with us and chat with us on the front porch. Join us live for Front Porch Talking each Friday night at 7 p.m. That's your friends here at the Southern Fried Podcast. And we're back.
Yes.
So you were saying you asked about the color. We've always had color.
Yeah, but I was a kid. I didn't know that. And the other thing I remember from my grandpa was talking about where we live. I live in extreme southwest Georgia, and my granddaddy said, well, best way you can describe it to people, you can spit one way. You live in Georgia, but you can spit one way and spit in Alabama, and spit the other way and spit in Florida.
Oh.
So if anybody asks you where you live, that's it.
Up here we have the place where you go up, the Rock City or whatever. Where it's at, where they say you can see the 7 states.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever saw 7. Maybe. I mean, how can you tell what they say how far it is? But I say 4 for sure. 3 for sure. I don't know about the 7, but it's. I mean, at what point does that hill become the next state or that mountain?
No, dude, they have those little binocular things.
They do.
And if you look through those little binoculars, you can see the road signs out there. It says, "You are now entering." Try it.
There's some guy out there with a sign that says, "Hey, I'm North Carolina."
Yeah, standing out there, next to the oak tree with all the cows in it. Rock City, y'all owe me some money out of them little binocular things that people shove y'all them quarters in. I just helped y'all out.
Yeah, Michael, we're right here on the corner, so yeah, you could just about do that and be in the 3 different states up here. Yeah, what state? What area is it that there's? Is it 4 or 5 states? You get in the corner and within you don't have to move that much. It's out west. Somebody was telling me about that. Somebody that had been there. It's several states that come together in a little corner there.
Oh,
I'd have to look at it, but if somebody knows, pop that in the chat. And I think that's cool.
yeah.
I forget which ones it is. It's probably Colorado and different ones. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's really strange how they drew some of the states, right? I mean, like for West Virginia, you got that little sliver that goes up. I mean, I forget how many miles wide it traditionally stays up through there, but it goes up between the 2 states. You got Texas with that panhandle, and Oklahoma has another little extension there. It's just funny how, I guess the rivers maybe. I studied all that in school, but I done forgot most of that. But it's odd how they drew the line.
Well,
here, go ahead.
South Carolina and Georgia.
Yeah.
It looks like Georgia's like, and they like cut a line down through there and like kicked it off. We don't want that part. We're going to call that South Carolina.
Well, the, Florida, that panhandle, and you get over there. I mean, couldn't we just have took that as Alabama and Georgia? Couldn't we just took some of that and made it Georgia and Alabama? And
we could have.
We could have planted that. We could have planted the University of Georgia flag like another 50 miles south.
We'd have been like another Florida. And do we really? I mean, I like the Redneck Riviera, aka Panama City. I love it down there. I'm going to be making a trip here in a couple of weeks. but I love the Redneck Riviera. But do we really want that in our state? Do we really want the headaches? I mean, I'm close enough to it. I can get to it in an hour or two, and I'll be there.
Well,
You know,
you do have a point. You got all those retirees that go down there, and what was I saying the other day? The Velcro shoes, the socks up to the knees,
mm-hmm.
short shorts. Don't want that. So
I'll tell you what. When I go down to the beach this time, I'm thinking I'm going to get me some of those men's bikini swim trunks
don't do
and
it,
boots
Rob.
and cowboy boots.
Don't do it, Rob.
I could do it. With my
There,
long.
you might show up in a video somewhere on social media. I mean, you just never know. Everybody's got the phones ready. They'll say, "Look at that guy." They got their phone up. Look at that guy.
They don't do it to the other old guys. Well, I'm not that old.
You're a senior.
No.
A senior. I mean, nowadays, if you have a bad hair day, you become a TikTok video or something. I mean, these kids, you never know what they're taking a video of, right? Yeah. I mean, what we say it was when we were young. Thank goodness there was no cell phones, and social media. There was a lot of embarrassment saved.
Oh my goodness, Slidell. Yeah, I like being at. We got Okefenokee, and we got, which is the big swamp over in Middle Georgia, south Middle Georgia. But we got all kind of little low-lying swamps in the area. So,
have you ever been to the Okefenokee, Rob?
What?
Have you ever been to the Okefenokee?
Oh, it's been a long time. I was threatening to take the wife over there, but she's so scared of alligators, I better not.
I just skirted a little bit. I was speaking at a church down there that was, right there at it. And just a little bitty tiny church, great folks. And I was right there. But we had to get back home, so I didn't spend any time. So kind of sort of was there, but not really. I mean, no, I wasn't out on the longboat or anything,
Longboat? You mean John boat?
Or John boat, I'm sorry.
We don't got no long boats around here. Them was John boats.
Mike says he's never stepped foot in Florida, but he's been all across the South.
Now, wait a minute. You've never been to the Redneck Riviera? Oh, my gosh. You haven't lived properly till you've been to the Redneck Riviera. You can't see the beach. All you can see is the backside of all these high rises and stuff like that. If you're going to see the beach, you got to ride over St. Andrews.
Well, hey, but hey, he can say he's been to Las Vegas.
Y'all?
You know that? That's the used car capital of the world, right? Or it used to be. Yes. Las Vegas. They didn't have casinos, but they had every used car dealer you could find.
Oh.
And every little bar and
oh my goodness. I try to stay away from Ross. Were you ever a witness? I got to ask you this. They got that fountain as you turn up Rossville Boulevard there at the corner. You remember the fountain? Has it still got water in it?
Well, yeah, they had to redo it. It got hit.
Oh.
Somebody crashed it out. But I think it has water in it right now. I didn't look the last time I was over there, but they redid it. I think if I remember right, somebody from Rossville is going to get on to me. But is that a Vietnam memorial?
I don't remember. I really don't, and that's sad.
Shame on me. I just lived down the road from it.
Did you ever witness detergent or the after effects of detergent getting dumped in that fountain?
I've heard about it. I don't think I've ever seen it. That's a busy thoroughfare right through there. But somebody, I don't know if they were drinking or driving, lost control or whatever, but they hit it. But somebody stepped up and helped fix it and replace it and everything. What's right there is it's not open anymore. They've tried several times. I don't think it's open. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think it closed again. Was the old Roy's Grill. I mean, that has been around forever, and different people have tried to make it go, but that's a hard spot to make it go. It's just a different environment now than it used to be. Back in those days, you used to get out and walk around the shops, look at the windows,
Yes.
especially at Christmas time with all the little decorations and stuff. Don't get mad at me, Rossville, but there's not a whole lot of walking around looking in shops over there anymore because of what you might have to deal with. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
But let me give a plug on the Georgia side of Rossville. That's what we're talking about. They've done a great job of cleaning that up. Tennessee side got to get with it. They've done a little bit, but it's bad. But there's just a lot of issues there. And with as Michael was saying, he remembers when it was booming over there, had all the meals and stuff going. That's been a challenge. It's been trying to make a comeback, but that that area was small town America, work, all the workers and stuff. But some of those shops are gone now.
Wow.
There's still a couple of shops there that I think a jewelry shop or two. There's a clothing shop. There's a few. But that was a nice little area. Of course, you got a real old historic post office there.
Yeah.
It's just changed over the years. Sorry for the, it's tough to watch a town not die, but die off some. And his uncle used to sit and play harmonica across from Roy's Grill. So,
wasn't it like an old music store, over there? Right
well,
across,
I think
across?
there's still a music store / golf store, I think, in Rossville. I haven't been in there in a long time, but I think they still have that. But, Roy's Grill was a place you'd go in, sit at the counter, the traditional, breakfast, I guess, meat and three or hamburger, whatever. Yeah. And, here's the problem. I remember once when they opened it back up. And again, I'm just saying this is the world we live in today. I mean, people would, and they actually had some pretty good, customers coming out. They got a little parking across the street. But a lot of people's cars got broke into. And Charlie Chambers Music and Golf. Thank you, sir. We thank you. That's what's great about people coming into your stream. You got all these help to remember stuff,
You got all us elderly and senior people on here.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, it's tough to watch. And that's why we highlight, one of our programs is Main Street USA. We're trying to highlight not just small towns, but a lot of it is small towns, those locally owned businesses. We're hoping to do an interview today with one and just highlight the hardworking. I mean, that's their life, that business. And they depend on, everyday folks that come in and drop a few dollars to buy whatever. And you've got some down in your area, Robert, that that you're friends with. They work hard at what they do. It's just not, being a small business owner is not for the faint of heart. You got to roll up the sleeves. You got to get it every day. You got to pay attention to trends and how things change. And when economic times come, people cut their spending habits, and sometimes that just is a death knell to small business.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Go
Is
ahead.
Red's Shoe Repair still open up there in Rossville?
No, it closed a few years ago. His wife died. My granddaughter is related to him. I didn't know that for a long time. I met him. Of course, we had been under my dad, but his wife died, and he kept it there for a while. I don't know if the stuff is still in there. He may have eventually moved it out, but it eventually, to my knowledge, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it closed eventually. He just got older. But that was a great place to go get your shoes redone and stuff.
Let me put this out there. That place is famous. That's where that famous wrestler, John Copperhead Remington, always went and got his wrestling shoes built.
Okay.
Built my wrestling boots.
Yeah. He was, that store was kind of like, and still is today, the old barber shop. People come just hang out. He'd have people just come and his friends and hang out. It was a place where you talk to politics, news, just chit chat, and you got some work done. But it's kind of like an old barber shop, if not these fancy hair places, but only one shoe repair in Chattanooga, buddies. Okay. I don't know. Maybe because more people just buy and dispose of shoes. I mean, I guess there's a niche there for it, like you said. But how many people actually go get shoes repaired anymore?
They don't.
I mean,
About the
really?
let's see, like the biggest thing I get we get repaired is my boots
Yeah,
because the stitching will break, the soles will mess up, or you'll wear the soles out or whatever. But if it's a good, comfortable pair of boots, it's already broke in, and it's work boots or whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, go get your boots repaired, and it's a lot cheaper, and they last just as long. And they already broke in. You ain't got to kill your feet breaking the things in. You
yeah.
know, they
I
just
remember going in there, my mom getting a pair of shoes. I guess they were
amen,
church
Michael.
shoes that were repaired. Uh, I love that smell though when you walk in, all that leather, and they've got the different things that they do the stitching and all that. It's just pretty cool. You know,
Well,
that's things gone by. You think about shoe repair because we reminisce a lot, folks. We're getting a little senior as Robert is, but thank you, Robert. The
you
old TV repairman shops that's
yeah,
gone mostly.
that's
I mean, there
gone.
might be somebody out there. What was the other one? Oh, some of them were a combo, but sometimes they were just the VCR repair shops.
And now we've
Yeah,
replaced it though. We have replaced it to cell phone repair shops.
there is the cell phone repair shops, fixing those
So we
screens and all that stuff. Yeah,
mhm,
it things change. Markets change. But that was a good livelihood for people to have a TV repair shop. All
mhm,
those tubes. Well, we've got to replace your linear tube. The younger crowd don't know anything about tubes.
uh,
You
no,
got to heat up. Got to
they
heat get
barely
the
barely
TV up.
understand an aerial antenna. Or
Robert. And then I don't know why, but for some, I know there's I guess a reason why. But the whole hitting of the side of the TV. If you watch some of the early TV shows, they would do that because people do that. They'd hit the side of that TV. Come on, and sometimes you get a little life out of the tube before it would actually
yeah,
completely go out. So that was a thing back in the day. You'd actually beat on your TV to get it to come on. Back in the day, it was the radio. I guess that started with radio, the old radio that most people had that way before TV.
yeah,
They could do that. I guess the radio it just went over into the TV. Now, if you did that, you'd probably break it. A flat screen. You come over there beating on it. Today, when they die, they just die, Rob, and you throw it in the trash and you go buy a new one. Really? I mean, that's what people do. It's
yeah.
disposable TV.
Oh, Michael, I remember them days too. With the Sears color TV. I tell you, I remember when TVs were a piece of furniture. Okay. You had this great big wooden console TV sitting in your living room, and boy, you could just put all kind of stuff on top of it. I mean, it was a shelf. I mean, and the blooming thing weighed 5,000 pounds.
Oh,
Well,
they were
that's
heavy.
they were heavy. And nowadays, you can get one. Yeah, I mean, I was what a 25-inch screen. We was hot dogging it. Nowadays, you get these 52, 60, 80, whatever, big old flat screen TVs that a 6-year-old can carry around. You know,
Did you ever have one of the projection TVs, that had the really big screen but had the project? Those things were heavy too. I never had
yeah,
one,
I
but
did
they
have one
were
of those.
they
I
were a
saw
pain
it.
to move, a big pain, moving a piano almost. Not that bad, but almost. But yeah,
Ooh,
that's why when somebody used to be when somebody call you to move, you're like, oh,
yeah,
I mean, you knew that your back was going to be hurting and everything else. Nowadays, I'm not saying there aren't some things, but most of it's just light now. Everything's gotten lighter and thinner, and like you
yeah,
said, you can let the kids down with it. They can carry stuff out to the moving truck, but except maybe like somebody's got some antiques or something. That's when you really know.
yes.
I
But
remember going. I remember going and getting this old freezer once. My mom, she bought this freezer from this older couple, and we had that thing for years. It worked for a long time, and then it just played out. And then it sit there and had stuffs on it, and we finally got rid of it. But I remember me and my oldest son. I had my little pickup truck, and we went there. And the guy, he said, "No, I can't help you." He was older. I said, "Oh, we got it." He said, "Just you and the boy?" And I said, "Yeah." Now I gotta be honest, Rob. I didn't realize how heavy this thing was. But him and his wife sat down in some lawn chairs in their garage. They wanted to see this. Thank goodness it was in the garage. So I backed my truck up. I slid this thing over, and I could tell when I slid it. I'm thinking, I might need help, but we're going to give it a try. So we got on the front of that thing and just got it on the front two legs of it on the back of that truck. And we went in the back, and me and him, we manhandled that thing up into that truck. And when I closed that tailgate and turned around, that guy, he gave me an applause. He said, "Son, I got a bit. I had doubts." He said, I doubted. I thought this, I said, I'm going to get to watch this guy. No, he's going to fail. There's no way him and his boys are going to get that in the truck. He said, "You've impressed me today. But I'm going to tell you what, I got some help when it came off that truck. That thing, he didn't see that.
Him and his wife sat out there to watch the show. That's the only reason they were watching the show.
They were watching the show.
He went in there and got her. "Hey, baby, you got to come watch this with me."
That's this crazy guy and his son. They think they're going to move that heavy freezer. "Oh, yeah, honey, let me get out there and watch that."
Yeah. But you, like I said, you got help getting it off of there.
Oh, man. Well, and getting it in the house. I mean, it took like 4 or 5 of us to, oh, my goodness.
Dave,
getting it out.
A thought for you. We was talking about how things are getting heavier or lighter now, as and younger people can do it, and we don't. Maybe as we're getting older, we're just not carrying as much of this stuff, and these younger people coming up, it's still just as heavy, but we're making them do it. There's a thought for you. That makes it a lot lighter.
Maybe in some cases.
Yeah,
well, we're fixing to.
They were.
Yeah.
We
absolutely.
Had here. So we was highfalutin. We had
3 channels.
The big 3: ABC, NBC, CBS, and PBS. We had all 4 here, but you had to turn that little dial. That's another way we was highfalutin. We didn't have to go outside and turn that aerial. We had a little thing on top of the TV where we could turn it. It had a little motor out there. It would turn it automatically.
I've never had no motor at my house. It was me. You went too far.
Go back.
Stop. Oh, you've messed it up again.
What'd you say?
That's when you get, just turn it a smidge.
Yeah.
What's
and
a
so
smidge?
You crank it around about quarter way.
Did you ever have to do that in the rain? I did. Dad said, "Hey, go and turn aluminum antenna." I'm thinking, is there a storm in the area? Dad said, "Go turn that antenna," because the weather would throw it all off. You had to go adjust the antenna again. Oh, man. A lot of memories. Love you, Dad. I was the first remote for my dad. I learned to just sit by the TV so I could just reach up and turn it. That big color television I was talking about. Dad would say, "Okay, I'm done with watching old communist Walter Cronkite." He'd get mad at him. "Turn it over to this other one," and our dads, they would get mad, and talk about different things. They'd make them mad. They'd change the channel. Of course, the problem was you could only turn it to 3 or 4 channels like I was talking about. And they'd say, "Turn it again." I'm thinking, you've seen them all. There's nothing else to see. Just turn the channel. Something might have came on.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
Well, guys, we're so glad for everybody that joined in with us this morning. We're going to try to do this on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so we can start your week off right, get you over the hump, and end it with a bang. I think I just came up with something. But we're glad y'all are here with us. If y'all like what we're doing, like and follow us on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. What do they do on X, Dave? Is that a follow?
Follow, yeah, they follow.
Yeah. So we hope all of y'all have a blessed day. Have a great day, and we'll see y'all. Let's see. We're doing Hump Day Live. Will be our next live, or we're going to do one tonight.
Our next live. We may do a live tonight. We may do a live Mama Said. Who knows?
Oh. As long as Mom's not here, we all right.
We got to get our schedule up. It's good to see everybody. Braves blew it yesterday, got annihilated. Hopefully today will be a better day for the Braves.
Yes, hopefully. I see Daniel popped in there on Facebook. I want to say hi to Sugar Britches there. Yeah, I'll talk about you, Sugar Britches.
You'll have to tell me the story on that one.
Oh,
later.
Well,
We got to go, but maybe off the air.
Love y'all,
Salute.
man.
Have a great day,
Love you.
everybody.